Hey parents, this is Dr. Serrano and it's week 2 of our brain-based learning series. So last week I talked about how if your nervous system and brain is stuck in a sympathetic stress response, your learning literally just tanks. This week I want to talk about when does that tone start and give you an actionable step you can take to start moving your child's nervous system to a more parasympathetic healing response, a rest response, so they can actually optimize their learning. So when does the tone of the nervous system actually start to get set? And a lot of you might be thinking, well, this can start with early trauma or maybe in the teenage years. And I'm gonna tell you this, it actually starts way before then. It starts at conception. You guys know how that happens, right? 2 cells come together, 2 become 4, 4, 8, 8 to 16, 32. Eventually, you have a little structure that looks like a mulberry. And all of those cells are the same. And at about weeks 4 to 6, one of those cells changes, it differentiates. And what that cell starts to become, it is your child's nervous system and their brain. Because you can't have a heart without a nervous system. You can't have lungs to breathe without a nervous system to control it. But here's what happens. Depending on how the mother's nervous system was impacted at that point between that 4 to 6 weeks, that will start to set the tone for the child's nervous system development, the tonality of it. If the mom was super stressed, right? And by the way, this is not a guilt thing, this is just biology, right? When a mom is under a lot of strain or stress around that 4 to 6 week mark, what happens to the tone in the baby is that it starts to be elevated, a little bit more sympathetically driven. That's when it starts. Then early intervention, when we have a lot of early intervention like immunizations or C-sections or a lot of traumas early on, all of those things start to put more strain and stress on the nervous system, setting your child's nervous system to a more sympathetically stress response, stress in your tone. I tell you this to tell you this part here. It doesn't matter where the child is in their tonality at this point. What we did in week 1, we just observed before they started to learn. So what we want to do at this point is, once we see that our child isn't ready to learn, right? They're a little bit agitated or not focused. We have to have a system, a rhythm in place that we can put, that we can start calming their nervous system down so that, guess what? They can start maximizing their learning. So it's really simple. Here's your action this week. If you see that your child is a little bit more amped up, not ready to actually take in the algebra or whatever the subject is, all you're gonna do is you're gonna find a calm space. For some kids, it's outside. Sometimes it could be a space in your home. And what you wanna do is go into that calm space, have their feet flat on the ground. You could be laying or sitting. And then with them, what you wanna do is put your hand, you get their hand on their stomach and your hand on your stomach. And then you're gonna start taking some deep diaphragmatic breath, deep belly breath, where you're gonna deep breathe in for 3 seconds, really deep. And then out for 5 seconds. And you do that 3 to 5 times, and you're doing this together because what happens a lot of times is that their nervous system will start mirroring your nervous system. So if your nervous system is a little more agitated and amped up, guess what? They're picking up on that. So as you guys do this together, you're gonna see the tension in the room start to calm down, and that's gonna set you and them up for a better optimized healing lesson.